And I think just if we're going across the 5, I might back them.
I think it's winnable though for BC.Game. I'm not gonna lie. You know, when you look at these players and kind of what that 3-man core, lightly termed a core, I think at this point, because Sensu's only just joined. How long is he gonna hang around? You know, there's a lot of headline signings, I think, by BC.Game, the organization. But I think it is certainly winnable. We'll find out. They'h got a lot of control up banana here, which feels kind of crazy. s1mple will find that first head though. Bomb going to get planted swiftly. It's man advantage to the CT side, but can of course swing quite fast. s1mple trying to take his first fight. It's a bit of work, but he does get it. The Julies that go down that will maybe keep an eye on. Bit of team damage, but generally all good. Electronic will fall, but they keep the kills coming here on the T side. It is Sizzy all alone. Man, what a daunting game for a young kid like this, you know, just quite fresh into that tier 1 scene. Against some true legends, will take off Senzu. Looking for a bit more, but not going to have time to win the round out here. Drops s1mple, lets him know who he is, puts some respect on the Sizzy name, and he nearly takes them all, but not quite. However, still a pistol for that T side.
Let's be frank as well for Sizzy, you know, like most players, but I think, you know, obviously in particular for him, s1mple is probably his idol, kind of coming up through the scene, you know, both being Ukrainian AWPers, right? Without a shadow of doubt, for s1mple, he is always the idol of any Ukrainian player coming through, but in particular, a young AWPer like himself. So I think this is a really, really cool matchup. Of course, for s1mple, it's a bit of a clash of fates in a sense, because these two play together on that Na'Vi side, and obviously it wasn't exactly very fun for s1mple. It was a big talking point at the time that he was sort of the brunt of a lot of the criticisms from within the team itself, as we saw within a lot of the cams, and well, unfortunately from s1mple a lot of the time as well. So you would love a bit of revenge, I think, s1mple. But a really interesting game. Odds favor Bait. I'm agreeing with them for now. I do think as a 5, I think there's more on offer here, but I do think the individual skill ceiling of BC.Game obviously is what makes it kind of exciting. So we'll see. Gets off, opens up proceedings, looks for another as he turns, and it's s1mple who will help him out. The nade should see him off, and he does with the support of Electronic. But that short water control, that's Bait, putting the pressure on in the force buy.
Just for now, still possible to break in towards this B bomb site. A lot of players around here, but that slightly stronger weaponry, you know, makes you excited. s1mple on that AK in particular, full belt of utility for him to boot. They're taking it a bit slow here, yeah, and the fact that they are going slow, I think, makes us worry slightly. s1mple has managed to work his way in behind, so timing going to be everything. s1mple takes a tag, and, well, they're going to finish them all off, and it is that flank that comes in to get it done. And this is one of the things, I think BC.Game ceiling might be there. Where's the plan? You know, like you're 4 versus 3, you've still got plenty of utility. None of it comes out. They just fully try and contact their way in. Quite obvious that they're hanging around in short, maybe outside monster, but you know, towards B, they've not shown presence anywhere else. So not even like a flash for the monster guy, even though you're positioned at short, feels like the perfect move and not all that deep. So it's things like that that I think are going to be missing from the BC.Game game, and also a crop of players that, let's just say, have maybe been allowed to approach the game how they want, which is not always the best idea. You know, Electronic's probably thinking about how he's going to farm Dota 2 MMR while he's over in NA. Things like that, not a kid, but, you know, things like that when it comes to, like, the deeper practice and whatnot. I don't know whether they are fully pracking, fully scrimming, or just spamming face it and, you know, feeling good mechanically, but there's not a lot of depth in the game itself, which Bait start there, but have grown this team into something that is a little more tactical.
I mean, I'll definitely counter that. They are definitely pracking all the time.
I know.
Like,
it's hard to...
You know, I know you're saying good tongue-in-cheek, but these guys, I know for a fact, are working very hard. The issue is, though, it's difficult when you don't actually have a fully fledged IGL. Like, Skronk, of course, is a former IGL in the Tier 2, but he knows he's temporary here. And he even touched on that in that interview. s1mple, oh, he lines them up as well. Brilliant from him. Fantastic shutdown of a monster play, and s1mple, who often gets called upon in these anchor positions, does very well. He can get overlooked quite a lot. It's a little laugh, but very early doors, head in hands for s1mple. Don't get too tilted just yet. It is still the early portion of this game, but the flash was completely ineffective there. Too simple for s1mple to really shut it down, and he just goes for a double pump in towards that monster play. Brilliant work. It'll break the econ of BC.Game. And this is kind of, I think, where I think maybe it's our job to kind of rein in the viewers a little bit. Of course, this BC.Game's had a really quite cool because of like the individuals, but within the last 12 months, like, Bait's ceiling is definitely higher. Like, it's not really a debate. Like, s1mple individually, best player on the server, and that's still proven by yesterday's Dust 2. But as of 5, Bait have done really, really good work to be where they're at. And I think they sort of deserve a bit of respect there, because I think everybody seems to just assume BC.Game are going to win this.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's also one of those things where I think Bait, younger team, they're maybe just sharper, warmer, you know, playing in these kinds of environments, a lot more trust. BC.Game might have the parts, but putting them all together, you know, is the tough thing. A few different cultures and, you know, trying to make everything work. And also, it's kind of a difficult tournament for them, as we're mentioning, with, like, Scrunk in here, which is not really ideal when they are trying to play their best sort of Counter-Strike, but
yeah, that into Yumi was really good, actually.
Yeah,
like,
quite eye-opening.
A lot of insight. It's kind of really, I think, what this side are looking for. But, you know, he kind of understands sort of his job here is really to make everyone else shine. He knows that he's not really here to kind of try and take over or change the way in which the identity of this BC.Game side plays. Like, for him, it's just try and glue it all together. And it's something that BC.Game have really struggled with, finding synergy as a team. Like, getting all these superstars online together at the same time and playing to the level that the name value should live up to.
Few contact flashes here, not quite effective enough. In towards long, but a nice pickup from s1mple. We'll move up to the AK here as well. s1mple with that AWP, confident to stick around and drops him. So, a small changing of the guard in a sense. s1mple actually looking good and stepping up to the challenge, which
he was great yesterday as well.
Really quite cool. Yeah,
some cool moments.
Bit inconsistent within maps, but I think he's just finding his feet still. And this could be a great game for it. You know what I mean? Like, if they play well here, he plays well here, I think it'll give him a lot of confidence to look at. Yeah, probably one of those teams, you know, they win the 2021 major. The timeline on that would be good for someone like s1mple to turn around and be like, okay, I'm good at this game, but I'm still quite young. Do I focus on school? Do I focus on becoming a pro? You know, and you get inspired. I want to say, we're going to look it up here. 13. Oh, wow, he was 11.
He's 11, yeah. He's 16 now.
Can't be serious.
He would have been playing, I'm sure.
Like, at least 18.
No, 16. Yeah, same for him and both of him and Sagakawa, same age. And there he is, s1mple. It's a quad kill to his name, and he starts really, really well. This is something we highlighted yesterday as well when we kind of saw s1mple. He really does get hot streaks. Like, he's one of the few players that starts really, really well, which is normally something we critique youngsters on LAN, is that we always talk about, like, you know, it can take them a bit of time to get comfortable. If anything, it's kind of the other side for s1mple. Like, he starts really well, and then he loses track of it in the midway through the game, and then has to sort of rein himself back in. But really, really good start for him. 9-2 out the gates. Who would have thought that we'd be in this series talking about the best Ukrainian AWPer in the server is s1mple, but right now, that is the case. BC.Game again down to a lesser buy. So unfortunate for s1mple in that round. He gets stuck because he tries to support that kind of rush out in towards long. Crazy goes for first contact. And when he falls, he's stuck at rock. He can't really fall away, and s1mple, he's always going to win that fight. I think if he maybe had a bit of a flash to support him to get out, they could have reset that round, but unfortunately they didn't. 4-1. CT side starting well for Bait. So far for BC.Game. There's a few kind of boxes we want to tick before we start to feel comfortable, but let's start with a bomb plant, I think.
Utility out here. Indeed, they have a plan. They are looking to try and get that bomb plant. s1mple, couple of angles for him. Certainly going to be tough. He does manage to chime into one, but yeah, overswings on the other.
Double scope.
And the Tech-9s have maybe created space to get this done. The bomb has hit the deck. That's going to buy some time and split them up ever so slightly. Trade on to Kenzie. Bomb's still not comfortable enough to get planted just yet. They will indeed now try it. Just 2 remaining. There is a gap. They try and come together here. Alex with a nice find as Electronic caught unaware. s1mple up close and personal, able to get one but not the second. It's all down to the one-on-one. s1mple on the AWP, misses the shot. And s1mple looking to track him here if he can, and he will. s1mple also look pretty sharp, you have to say. So fast with it. And it is. It's a small, smug smile. Taking, I suppose, the godfather of modern Ukrainian Counter-Strike. That might go to Markelov, to be fair, but all the same, taking out s1mple feels pretty good.
I mean, technically, I think you're right, because would we not say s1mple was maybe the older god of Counter-Strike?
Yeah, of course, but
So
he played a bit
Counter-Strike.
ago.
Yeah.
We don't have s1mple without him. I don't know. s1mple's a bit more like Al Pacino.
Yeah.
In the, you know...
In the hierarchy.
The new Godfather or whatever.
Yeah. Pretty early timeout taken as to get Taz on the mic, but I mean, pretty understandably so. I feel, you know, kind of where we're at right now, Bait, everything's going their way. At least there's that first kind of checkbox that I was talking about. Let's get a bomb plant, let's get into a post plant on a kind of a Tech-9 buy. It's actually a nice little thing to have. It will alleviate the finances. Heading forward here towards round number 7 makes the buy even stronger as you can shore up, of course, all that util. AKs across the board. But huge round to take. s1mple looking so good to begin here. Alongside s1mple, both having an immense amount of impact. And, you know, it's inevitable at some point, s1mple will wake up and he will really start to put on a lot of pressure. s1mple, mechanically, but I think in sort of every single way, the best player on this Bait side and has been for a while, hence why he's no longer calling for this team, because they don't want to sort of waste his time and effort micromanaging everybody else. They want to leave him to his own devices, but when he starts to get in towards the server, if s1mple and s1mple can keep up this form, BC.Game are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it is true.
That's worth mentioning. It will happen at some point in this tournament. We will get like a Kansas or 25 kill map. It's going to happen at some point. He always has one.
Oh, adjusting his headset. I mean, he's so calm, you know? I really like his energy as a player. See him in the interviews and stuff. He's just so, like, sure of himself.
Yeah.
But in quite a nice, quiet, confidence kind of way. You know, it's not too full of himself. And I think every team needs a player like that.
Yeah.
You lose that force buy, and he's like, it's good, man. Don't worry about it. You know, that one guy getting annoyed at himself. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll be fine. Buy up. What are we doing next round, you know?
And they come.
Yeah, ready for this B hit. 3 players on the site itself. Feels really, really good at this point. s1mple to take out Electronic and reveals himself in a massive way, but it's s1mple again for multi-frag moments, and Kenzie is the extra man that they're not expecting. Shutting it down. s1mple B execute does not get off the ground. So it looks absolutely incredible here as Bait are really taking them to town on a map that generally does not do well for Bait. And I think it's one of the curious things. I maybe wanted to comment on the veto that it's like, oh, it's a bit annoying that you don't, you know, float the Anubis and leave it there as something that could happen and, you know, force the veto in a different direction. The Overpass, I think, is one of these predictable maps that we talk about. Very winnable game for Bait. Good bit of practice for them. And indeed, maybe the map that they are most prepared for in the past sort of 24, 48 hours for this particular matchup.
Yeah, exactly. They would have had a lot of time to kind of get their prep going for this first fight. s1mple will come out on top. Does take a lot of damage, but he falls away alive. Generally, I think you'd want to abide by Bogdan's law here, but I think with s1mple being so hard-handed at the moment, keep him on the orb. You know, I think s1mple is more than happy to sort of be a little bit of cannon fodder as well as long as he plays as well as he's been playing so far. It's a really, really good start. And it's also pretty damning. I will say with this veto, though, there's kind of that flip side that I'm going to assume BC.Game are going to be very solid on Mirage. Like, it's a map that obviously everybody knows, but it was probably one of the first maps they started looking into as a team when they were coming together as a 5. And played, as we always know, all the time in the Pugs. Looks like they want to finish towards B once again. And they come. There's going to be a molly down and a nade behind it. Could be huge. Deep in towards Sandbags. There's so much damage on towards s1mple. Alex forced out by the flames, but he swings in towards the fight and finds success. Can't get 2. s1mple will deliver, but numbers still favor Bait here with 35 seconds.
Scrunk gets a frag. We're going to need him to here. Oh, he can't even get the bomb down. Yeah, he won't. s1mple falling. They had a sliver of a chance in that one, but not getting off the ground. It's really not looking good here as Bait are starting to absolutely demolish them. Even the mighty s1mple is looking a little dejected.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't mean to reiterate the point, but I know as fans of Counter-Strike, a lot of people will come in towards this and just see on paper, s1mple electronic Senzu, oh, this is you know, an easy win. It's just far from. Like, Bait, I think, are very often overlooked as a team. Like, the run that they had to make throughout the Tier 2 to get up in towards Tier 1 was incredibly commendable. And the fact that they've kept their position here, sure, they're not a side that are going super deep at the moment, but for the last, you know, well, basically the entirety of BC Game being a thing, like, Bate's ceiling is considerably higher as a team, and this is exactly what they can do. They play so well off each other. Their synergy, cohesion's fantastic, and we're seeing it. There's very few gaps, very few errors. You know, right now, you hate to say it, but this is expected. This is the favorites playing like the favorites.
Yeah. And I think what we're really looking for is like vintage performances. We had vintage s1mple yesterday. Whether we're going to get that
we need vintage electronic and s1mple, don't we, really?
Well, yeah, and vintage electronic.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I don't want to bash him too much. s1mple, I really don't know what's going on. I think this is a player that it would be very interesting to put under the microscope.
Yeah.
Post Mongols. And maybe it does just go to show that like Blitz had the head of the spear, knew how to wield it, but without that kind of control and mentorship or whatever, s1mple's not quite as wise. Kind of a Freiburg situation, I think, you know, in NIP back in the day.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what. Well, I need to word this carefully. He was just very much like a weapon to be utilized, but not quite his own player, as it were.
Yeah.
In the same way that, say, Get Right would have been on that particular roster. Either way, they're back onto a pretty decent buy here, lacking some utility. But then we've not really seen them go too advanced with all their util. Just trying to work those individuals. Electronic gets the timing.
How's he not tagged?
Yeah, kind of wild. Paint a wall behind him. MPL nice and close to the action here. Going to hear some footsteps. This could get messy.
He's not moving either. But he's drawn rotations over. This is fantastic. They might completely overlook this because he's not made any steps. Kenzazor as well. He might even just draw them in. This body's here. 1 and nearly the 2. He's holding down Miles1 desperately, but he can't find s1mple. But on the site, Ascentiel's here for cleanup. The last man with low HP, and it's Ascentiel with another multi-kill round. He's 14-2. Wow, what a start. And I think s1mple's expression sort of sums up the vibes right now in BC Game. This is cruise control for Bait, and BC Game are in serious trouble.
He looks genuinely quite upset.
Yeah.
To be honest. He really does. I mean, you know...
Can't blame him, to be honest.
Penny for the thoughts, in all honesty. It's kind of a tough one here. Problem is, right, this is a bit mean, what's just popped into my head. Skrunk said he wanted to let them shine. I don't think this is the way to do it. I don't think by tanking the scoreboard, and then it's like, wow, everyone else looks so good compared to me.
I'm gonna...
you know...
I'm going to give him a bit.
Rough.
He literally got like 2 weeks notice.
No, it's true.
It's not being a player for like a year and a half.
I did preface
don't be,
I am being mean.
Yeah.
Which usually is your job.
He got like 2 weeks notice. I want to give him a little bit of space. I mean, obviously, granted, 0-9 is tough, but like he has been a coach now for a good year.
No, for sure.
And then
trying to get into the mind of like s1mple and electronic, I don't know if they will necessarily see it that way. You know what I mean? I think that they would at the very least hope and expect something from Skrunk. And there's a number of rounds. There are a number of rounds, realistically, where 1 kill, 2 kills could make a big difference. Or even just Skrunk still being alive to be like cannon fodder for someone to trade from. And that's just the realistic nature of it. You know, if he was like 0-5, fair, but he's 0-10.
Yes.
You know, I think there is a level of acceptability.
Let's see what ADR in 8.4.
I mean, come on, you got to point that out.
Yeah.
That's really,
it's poor,
really, really rough.
But not being a player for like a year and a bit, and then 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
S-tier tournament. IEM Atlanta will see you there, pal. You're calling.
You got Vitality first game, and then you've got like the Ukrainian regens that are just like rabid dogs at a fight like this. They're just really, really wanting to
insanely
clap
cracked
them here. Yeah. And just probably this is like their major final, to be honest, with some of the names on the other team. So we can sympathize, but also objectively, you have to point it out because it's making a big difference.
100%, yeah.
Could have been 3 at least, maybe 4 rounds if we just had in places. Look, we're being super picky, but in places, if he finds the right kill or just a kill in the middle of one of these rounds where it comes down to like a 2 versus 1, they would have had more for sure, but not the reality in which we live. And unfortunately, it looks like Bait are just going to continue this on their opponent's map pick. Might be a swift series here. Yeah, it's one of those things, you hate to point it out, we have to point it out. It's our job, but it's just really making quite a stark difference here. 9-1. This half's all but a write-off anyway.
we generally like to say, if you can get 4 rounds T-side overpass, I feel like it's okay. 5's pretty good. That's where you're putting yourself into a nice position. That's impossible for BC.Game and Electronic. His eyes were trained on that jump peak, and s1mple just goes for contact. 16 and 2 will keep pointing it out. He can go missing at times for bait, but absolutely not here. And s1mple will come alive for one of his own. Down goes s1mple. There was information gathered towards long as well, so they know exactly where this bomb wants to head.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty textbook at this point. Nice little flash, though, as Ken's not going to be left behind. Another contact onto Alex. They have quickly evened it up into a 3 versus 3, and panicked attempts at trying to get back in. s1mple, though, he is nice and calm.
Here it is.
Skunk eats the nade. He's going to tap that bomb. He's going to try and get down below. He's not pulling any punches here. Yeah.
Oh, they heard him stop.
For a frag.
They heard him jump out.
They know. They know. It's unfortunate for Skunk. We like the idea, but low HP there as well is a bit rough for him.
That's really smart from s1mple, though. He hears he doesn't drop down, so he's not gone. He's still up there. And then he doesn't fight. He waits for him to sort of overextend and wrap the corner. It's tough. Couple of 1,000-yard stairs, and that's one of them from s1mple. My, oh my. Crazy, I think, does really well. Like, this triple entry is really solid, especially this third kill, but unfortunately it was all 4-0. He took a lot of damage in getting on towards the site. So all it took was that double from s1mple, the HG, and then a little spray, and before they knew it, they flipped the script in the round. Double digits for bait in the first half. A statement here by the Ukrainian side against their idol, their hero from the region, but they are putting it to bed nice and quickly. Electronic for 1. s1mple a farm of his own. Skunk will go down to the flames. Electronic trying to keep them in the flow here, but Kenzazor diving around bridge. s1mple, where are we going? Kenzazor giving a freebie, and he gets more behind it, all on the shoulders of s1mple, and it's Sizzy who sees it off. What a half. 11-1 by bait. A statement. We'll see after the break.
Simple stare. Kind of fair enough, because BC.Game picked this one. They're supposed to suck, man. How have they got 11 rounds? You know, like, they unfortunately have, I think, prepared for this, and just not much of a game for BC.Game. We're kind of debating about why that might be, you know, something in the locker room, as it were, with the mentality. Seems to be the best guess, especially when you're only getting the 1 round. And it was the pistol, which, you know, say it with me, is often a bit random when it comes to the rifles and things. It's been all about bait, and quite one-sidedly so. We did point out Skunk. We kind of have to do that a little bit again, as he goes an entire half without finding a kill, and dying in every single round. So that's not good, to say the least. I don't believe it. Let's go.
Let's go. Good start. New year, new me. New half, new Skunk.
This could be it. I mean, s1mple's in behind. He can't deny the bomb plant, but he's managed to find 3, and that's a hell of a flick onto the 3rd. Alex is all alone. The bomb has indeed been planted, not for him, and they do find yet another pistol. So something to lean on, a small silver lining, olive branch, all that kind of stuff. And hey, they get around because Skunk got a kill.
There we go.
Is like, nice, my boy. You know, I've been there too. You know what I mean?
It's very true.
As a guy who played for a while, past his prime, in the lower depths of the the tier 2 for quite a while. I'm sure Taz has been there too.
Full blind through a smoke, but you know we take what we'll get.
That's just pure feeling.
Yeah,
you know,
instincts.
Letting the muscle memory take over. Maybe try that in a few other rounds. Just close your eyes and
hope for the best.
Shoot, yeah. When you hear footsteps or something.
11-2 though. Both pistols going the way of BC.Game, which, you know, in a sense could be even more damning, right? If they end up losing, for example, 13-2, but you win both pistols, like that is kind of as bad as it gets. And for the brigade of people that claim pistols are RNG, they'd be loving that one. The force buy back out for bait, and you can't blame them for going for it. They won it in the first half, so why wouldn't you go for it again, especially with the bomb plant to work with here. 2 Galils, 2 Tech 9s, and a Deagle, but it's Senzu who'll find the first. NTL, he just turned away for half a second, but it was enough.
Yeah, nice find. So it might be onto something here for BC.Game, a slight recovery. Perhaps some belief in their CT side, right? And they will be starting CT side Mirage.
I mean, I'd hope
just pick up some steam.
Just for this map specifically, like there's most seats at a map in the pool. Yeah. Like we've got to have something.
This is kind of what you were banking on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would indeed hope. But we immediately see Bait have got a nice little execute lined up here, an idea to try and break in towards that B bomb site. Ready and raring to go after this monster smoke goes down. They will indeed start the charge. It's a little delayed. The flashes are good. Going to buy them a lot of space here. I mean, look how uncomfortable and blind they are. The contact back. Oh, unfortunately, it doesn't work out. Alex for the double. Electronic, I mean, he was in the right place at the wrong time, though, and that is the first domino that falls. 4-on-2. It just has to be a save here for these guys, and
shoot.
Well, unfortunately, might be a rinse and repeat of that first half. 12 going to be hit way sooner than BC.Game would have wanted. I think this game will be over in just a few moments, to be honest with you.
And the fact that it's not only kind of 12 being hit here on force by back in and all of these parameters that we talk about, but it was an opening kill for Senzu, and they can't capitalize upon it, and it goes flawless from there on out. I mean, that in itself, pretty damning, and Sizzy, just insult to injury. Down goes Senzu. The last man is s1mple. He sort of thread the needle a little bit. He potentially might get a consolation kill. Maybe. He also might potentially die as well. Sizzy gonna see him off. So from bad to worse for BC.Game, nothing saved, nothing gained. And map point Bait on their opponent's map pick. And yes, Bait were the favorites coming in towards this. You know, the odds had them, I had them down. I think, you know, ranking-wise, of course, they're there, but it's just one of the things. The favorites is a different thing. This scoreline is crazy. No one expected it to this level. I was thinking maybe like a 13-8, 13-9. Bait see it off, couple of uncomfortable moments here or there, but still okay all the same. This is ridiculous.
Can they give us a bit more? 5-7 of s1mple, get an advance. Take Maz into my own hands, he says. He will go down easily, though. Shadow spotted, I think, quite early into that movement. Bit of information traded. So the rest of the boys going to try and get in. Quick trades, but a double spray down for a Senthia, man. He has looked so good.
19-6.
Yeah, him and Sizzy. We got Kenzazor up there as well. We mentioned him having the odd decent performance. So a lot of players that have done well. Senzu. Lovely bit of timing, will be left alone. He's left low, down he goes. 13-2. It paints its own picture. I don't really need to add too much to it, in all honesty. Bait have absolutely played them off of the server.